The Farmgate Scandal.
An independent panel in South Africa has found that President Cyril Ramaphosa may have committed serious violations of the Constitution.
The South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is facing a possible impeachment threat.
This is the President of the Republic of South Africa.
The ruling ANC party has just adjourned talks on the future of President Cyril Ramaphosa.
The same president who raised his hands at the Union buildings and sought to uphold the Constitution and all other law of the Republic.
And I've said it more publicly that it was proceeds of sale of game.
Order, kaloku, order.
South Africa's President, Cyril Ramaphosa, has often been seen as a mature, reliable, and stable figure in South African politics and within the African National Congress political party. However, Cyril Ramaphosa has been at the center of a major corruption scandal in South Africa for the past few months that could involve the theft of millions of dollars. The irony involved is that Ramaphosa has often been seen as the man who has taken the responsibility to step in and clean out the corruption and scandals that had been present within the party, especially during the years of his disgraced predecessor, Jacob Zuma. Ramaphosa had been seen as a return to normalcy within the party, a person who would whip the party back into shape. He formerly served as Secretary General during the presidency of Nelson Mandela. He served as Deputy President to Jacob Zuma and was elected President of South Africa in 2019. He was seen as a good and reliable candidate for the ANC, and as a result, he was handpicked by Nelson Mandela to become the next president of South Africa. However, this current scandal could see him resign or be forced out as leader of the party. If they were to determine that him maintaining his position as leader of the ANC, with all the baggage he is currently carrying, would be detrimental to their hopes of maintaining their majority in South Africa's National Assembly. There has been some speculation that Ramaphosa has already made the preemptive decision to resign, and that the ANC has begun preparing the transition towards declaring who their next party leader would be. However, it is unclear who within the party would be able to take over as their next leader, as so many allegations of corruption have been waged against so many within the party. This is why this latest scandal involving Cyril Ramaphosa could potentially spell the end of the ANC having majority rule in South Africa, a position of which they have enjoyed since the overthrow of the apartheid regime. The Falafala robbery, or Farmgate Scandal, as it is commonly known, took place in 2020 on the 9th of February. The event reportedly took place on the private Falafala game farm owned by Cyril Ramaphosa, which is located near Bela Bela, Limpopo. It has been alleged that around $4 million worth of cash had been stolen from the Falafala game farm. The allegations were made by Arthur Fraser, the former head of South Africa's state security agency and a close ally of the former president Jacob Zuma. That would mean that Ramaphosa allegedly would have been in possession of undeclared foreign money around 62 million rands worth. In the following months since the allegations were made, CCTV footage was released by the Economic Freedom Fighters, which purported to show the burglary at Ramaphosa's house. In the leaked footage, first we can see that the alleged thieves are seen arriving at Ramaphosa's residence. They are seen crawling around the outside of Ramaphosa's farm residence, presumably as not to be noticed by whoever may be inside at that moment. Later, the video shows them attempting to enter through a door of the farm. One of the alleged thieves then notices one of the security cameras and then blocks off its view of them attempting to open the door. Another security camera is seen being obstructed again by one of the alleged thieves. Other shots show the alleged thieves inside of the residence of Cyril Ramaphosa when the alleged theft took place. Arthur Fraser alleges that $4 million had been stolen that were allegedly stashed inside a couch inside Ramaphosa's farm residence. The complaint made by Fraser also alleged that Cyril Ramaphosa had hired men who eventually were able to locate the whereabouts of the suspects who had reportedly entered his residence and stolen his cash. However, instead of going to the South African police and reporting the case and turning in the suspects, they decided that they would deal with the issues themselves. Presumably, the reason why Ramaphosa did not report the incident to the South African authorities is because the money that had been stolen was undeclared, and if an investigation were started, Ramaphosa would then have to reveal where the money had originated from. Or, as Julius Malema put it is not surprising that 60 million in dollar bills were stolen from Ramaphosa's property and not reported to the South African Police Service, because criminals do not report crimes when their proceeds of crime are stolen. So instead of going to the authorities, Fraser alleges that Ramaphosa had the suspects kidnapped and were allegedly taken back to the farm where they had stolen the money. The men were then allegedly interrogated by Ramaphosa's men, presumably about how they knew where the cash had been hidden, how they were able to enter Ramaphosa's residence, and where they had kept the stolen money. Following the interrogation by Ramaphosa's men, Fraser alleges that despite them robbing the South African president, they were reportedly paid off in order for them to keep silent on the matter. It has been reported that the men involved in the robbery by Namibian authorities before the allegations had been made public. The Namibian authorities were reportedly able to identify the suspects involved in the break-in at Cyril Ramaphosa's farm. One was reportedly even arrested after crossing the border into Namibia illegally. However, the Namibian authorities were reported to have been convinced to not disclose any information on the theft of the millions of US dollars, which calls into question if Ramaphosa had used his power as president of South Africa to leverage Namibian authorities into staying silent on the matter. Julius Malema, during a press conference, called out Namibia's president for allegedly collaborating with Ramaphosa to cover up the corruption scandal.
Even more concerned with the collaboration between Ramaphosa and the president of Namibia, which saw Ramaphosa unleash his personal thugs to track down suspects in Namibia after the robbery on his farm with the aid of the Namibian president.
Directly accusing the Namibian president of being directly involved.
The president of Namibia conspired with Ramaphosa to abduct individuals from his country and aided him in concealing his crime of money laundering. This makes Ramaphosa's actions not only of domestic concern, but of international consequences.
Though it is not entirely clear what kind of role was played, if any, by the Namibian president. The fallout from the allegations were swift and dramatic, with multiple members from multiple parties within South Africa's National Assembly calling on Cyril Ramaphosa to resign as president or be suspended, as well as various investigations being announced to discover all the facts of the robbery and where the money that Ramaphosa was in possession of had originated from, as well as the reason why he had not disclosed that the vast amount of money was hidden on his farm property. Some speculation is that the money could potentially have been stolen from South African taxpayers by Cyril Ramaphosa, or he could have obtained the money through corrupt deals made by benefiting from his position as president of South Africa. Hence why the money was in cash, which is hard to trace its origins, and why it was hidden and not disclosed, or that Ramaphosa was attempting to launder the money. Ramaphosa did respond to the allegations made against him. He claimed that he had not violated his oath of office, and he denies any misconduct. First, Ramaphosa had acknowledged that the theft did happen on his farm property. However, Ramaphosa had claimed that the money that had been stolen were proceeds that had been gained from the sale of game. However, that response has been called into question because it does not make clear why the money was in US dollars or why there were such large sums of money stashed inside the house.
I deny that there was any form of money laundering. I have said, and I've said it more publicly, that it was proceeds of sale of game.
Order, Kaloku, order. Order, honorable members.
Members of the ANC are now having a meeting to have a discussion on whether they would stick with Ramaphosa or they would decide on another person to replace him as head of the party. It is worth remembering that the disgraced former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, did not voluntarily leave his position as president of South Africa and head of the ANC. Rather, he was forced out of his position and was replaced by Cyril Ramaphosa. Ever since that moment, there have still been divisions within the party between the factions still loyal to Jacob Zuma and the rest of the party. There was some speculation that the Jacob Zuma loyalists may be attempting to retake control of the party. However, it is worth noting that during Jacob Zuma's presidency, Zuma managed to survive multiple corruption scandals and votes of no confidence. So there is a chance that Ramaphosa may also be able to do the same. However, this scandal has left a massive stain on the reputation of Ramaphosa, the former anti-apartheid activist, and the man who was supported by Nelson Mandela, and the man seen as the person to clear out corruption within the ANC and lead the country. Thank you very much for watching this video and making it to the end. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.